Presento al Leo Chemeco, campeón de Europa de los Walters. Un fenómeno.
Je suis Lucia. Vous devez être Léo, l'ami de Rodrigo. Il vous a expliqué un peu en quoi consistait le travail.
D'habitude, il n'y a que des jeunes filles qui se présentent pour ce travail. Elles tiennent 3 jours, parfois une semaine. On préfère que je vous emploie.
J'ai vraiment besoin de travailler.
Accident de voiture il y a 3 ans.
C'est la plus libre. C'est la plus emprisonnée.
Vous savez ce qui peut m'arriver, là, si j'en avale une?
Je les ai montés.
Moi, j'ai plus que ça dans la vie, manger!
Ça, votre fille. Fermez les yeux. Qu'est-ce que vous sentez?
Du santal.
Sometimes the last person you ever expected
Bravo.
J'aime bien votre jeu.
is the one person who can change your life forever.
J'ai envie que tu me roules dans l'herbe.
The movie unfolds in Colombia, where a fellow named Leo habitually indulged in alcohol. Soon enough, Leo found himself at an opulent residence. A caregiver named Lucia greeted him and led him to the homeowner, a privileged and haughty French woman named Muriel. Confined to her bed, Muriel sought a new attendant fluent in French. She immediately declared the position demanding and unpleasant, curious if Leo possessed any background in caring for the infirm or even youngsters. Leo candidly admitted his lack of experience, but stressed his desperate need for employment. Muriel decided to take a chance on him. Leo seized every opportunity to drink. Despite her immobility, Muriel constantly summoned him for various tasks, yet she maintained her poise. Unable to move her hands, Muriel used a stick to turn the pages of her books. When Muriel instructed Leo to have dinner ready by 8 sharp, he headed to the kitchen. Lucia found it peculiar that Muriel had hired a man, considering she had gone through roughly 40 female nurses. In Lucia's view, a man shouldn't witness a woman in such a vulnerable state. However, Leo couldn't risk losing the job. Lucia roused Leo at the early hour of 3 in the morning to demonstrate diaper changes and chest physiotherapy. Understandably, Leo wasn't thrilled about this daily routine. Muriel feigned sleep, deeply embarrassed when Lucia inquired if Leo could manage independently the following day. The man assured her he could. The next morning, Muriel's loud calls echoed through the house because Leo had overslept due to a hangover. Leo's duties included feeding Muriel, assisting with oral hygiene, washing, and all other personal care. Once the morning tasks were complete, the woman directed Leo to tidy up the house. Muriel enjoyed having the window open, relishing the fresh air, and contemplating all that she had lost. After lunch, Muriel asked Leo to bring her the telephone and leave her to her privacy. However, the number dialed proved incorrect. That evening, Leo had to perform the chest physiotherapy on his own. Later, Lucia came by and asked if he had managed. Subsequently, while asking for Leo's help hanging laundry, Lucia recounted Muriel's story from 3 years prior. Muriel had been traveling to France to visit her aristocratic fiancé when a car accident occurred. Upon waking from a coma and learning of her paralysis, she resolved not to return to France. The woman didn't want any of her loved ones to see her in her current condition. Her fiancé no longer contacted her. After his workday, Leo resorted to drinking again, but even at the bar, he couldn't escape his somber thoughts. Alcohol offered no solace. Lucia was relieved that Leo had returned. Typically, nurses fled after the initial days. The man stated plainly that his motivation was financial. Lucia handed Leo a shopping list, and he went to the market. A woman attempted to steal from him, but Leo noticed and intervened. Upon returning home, he heard laughter and singing. It turned out Muriel's physical therapist was visiting. The therapist did everything to uplift the patient's spirits. Leo observed Lucia administering some sort of injection to herself. Noticing him, she later explained it helped her cope. In the evening, Muriel was extremely displeased that Leo had prepared fish for dinner. Even a small bone could have serious consequences. Leo assured her he had removed all the bones, but she remained unconvinced. The woman voiced her displeasure loudly. Leo asked her to trust him. To his surprise, Muriel decided to heed his advice. Indeed, there were no bones in the fish. Lucia continued to share Muriel's history with Leo, recounting how she used to be an independent woman. But now, everything had changed. Muriel never ventured outside due to her fear of the wheelchair. Leo wondered why Lucia, a qualified teacher, worked there. Lucia preferred not to discuss it. After work, Leo returned to his rundown apartment, where he lived alone. He drank habitually. He missed a day of work and tried to excuse himself to Muriel by claiming illness. The woman immediately discerned it wasn't sickness, but a hangover. She warned Leo that a recurrence would result in his dismissal. From Lucia, Leo received an envelope containing his first wages. Lucia also gave him a pain reliever and advised him to consult a doctor about his drinking. But Leo insisted he could handle it himself. Now with money, Leo could afford proper footwear. He visited a boxing gym to relive his past. It turned out Leo was once a European boxing champion. He struck a punching bag, but his former prowess had evidently waned over the years. One day, Lucia told Leo that 25 years ago, she had aspired to be an artist and attended an art school in Paris, but marriage had thwarted her plans. Unlike Muriel, Leo didn't read books. He confessed he never understood what he read. Muriel found this unbelievable and asked Leo to read aloud. Leo complied, but comprehended nothing. Muriel decided that from then on, Leo would read aloud to her daily. Leo continued his visits to the boxing gym. One day, the coach mentioned they were preparing for a fight in Cartagena to reach a new level. According to his old friend, his student Miranda would be the next champion. If Leo agreed to train her, their chances of winning would increase, potentially bringing them significant money and recognition in women's boxing. The other contender for victory was Lena. Leo immediately recognized Lena. She was the same woman who had tried to steal from him at the market. Leo offered her a sparring session and won, evening the score. Lucia confided in Muriel that Leo had recently caught her doing something forbidden. Muriel considered they had no reason to worry, as Leo didn't seem like someone who would gossip. Leo continued to care for Muriel, a task that now felt easier. One day she inquired about his former occupation. Leo reluctantly admitted he had been an athlete. In the evening, Leo smoked excessively. The following day, he suggested Muriel go for a stroll. The woman flatly refused. Leo's hands trembled from a hangover, making it highly likely he would drop her. Leo insisted everything would be fine. Eventually, Muriel agreed to this outing. They each enjoyed a cocktail. Muriel hadn't felt this happy in a long time. Leo had a surprise for Muriel. He asked her to close her eyes and brought small vials of aromatic oils to her nose, asking her to identify the scents. Muriel thoroughly enjoyed this game and sincerely thanked Leo for the wonderful evening. Later, Leo met with his friend again and said he agreed to train Lena. His buddy, in turn, would train Miranda. Leo also proposed a wager of $5,000, to which the coach agreed. That same day, Leo asked Miranda if she knew where Lena lived, as she hadn't been showing up at the gym for several days. The girl replied that Lena was homeless. Leo continued to read aloud to Muriel. Now, she frequently asked him to take her for walks. For Muriel, these were the happiest moments. While Muriel spent time with her acquaintance who sold books, Leo waited for her on a bench. He kept his eyes on Muriel. Suddenly, Leo saw her soliciting a man. Leo immediately understood she was earning money. Leo and Muriel were growing closer. Muriel asked Leo if he had a girlfriend. He replied that he didn't. Later, Muriel asked Lucia what Leo did in his free time. Lucia mentioned she often saw Leo drunk. That day, he met with Lena and asked why she had stopped attending training. The girl explained that boxing wouldn't provide for her. Leo tried to convince her otherwise, saying that if she agreed to train under his guidance, she would gain fame, money, and escape her vagrant life. Leo also told her about the bet with the coach. If they won, Lena would receive half. Eventually, the girl agreed to continue training. At that moment, she didn't even have money for food. Muriel had no appetite, constantly thinking about Leo, unaware that he was enjoying himself with Lena at the bar. During a dance, Lena accidentally bumped into a blonde woman. Lena and Leo had to flee the bar. At one point, the woman stopped to use the restroom. A group of men caught up with Leo, seeking revenge for the girl. They attacked him and demanded to know the whereabouts of his audacious girlfriend. Leo was helped by Lena, who had a gun. Leo was in very bad shape and wouldn't be able to go to work the next day. He asked Lena for a favor. The following morning, the mansion's doorbell rang. Muriel eagerly anticipated Leo, but instead, Lucia stood at the doorstep, saying that Leo couldn't come that day. Lena introduced herself as Leo's neighbor, but Lucia immediately suspected a connection between them. Lucia lied to Muriel, saying a man had asked her to relay a message that Leo wouldn't be coming that day. Muriel thought Leo would never return, but he simply lacked the courage to tell her to her face. Muriel tried to distract herself from sad thoughts all day but couldn't. Leo had brought meaning to her life, but now it might all be over. Lena continued to live with Leo, who still hadn't recovered from his injuries. Different nurses came to apply for jobs, but Muriel didn't even listen to them. All her thoughts were consumed by Leo. At that moment, he appeared with bruises on his face. Muriel was angry with him and didn't hide it. Leo promised it wouldn't happen again, but Muriel told him he was fired. In the evening, Leo planned to drink because he had lost his job. Eventually, he changed his mind and gave the bottle to a homeless man. Lena asked Leo for permission to stay with him. He didn't object. From then on, Leo began training the girl for the upcoming championship. Muriel couldn't stop thinking about Leo. In the evening, Lucia brought dinner to Muriel. She had overindulged in substances and could barely stand. Muriel said she also wanted to try, as she was tired of her life, but Lucia refused her request because she genuinely cared for her. Lena directly asked Leo if she attracted him as a woman. Leo honestly answered no. Lena suggested they could get married and go to Europe together, but Leo clearly had a different opinion on that matter. He couldn't shake his destructive habit. The next morning, when Muriel opened her eyes, she was surprised to find Leo next to her. Lucia was equally surprised. Muriel didn't want to wake Leo. When Leo awoke, he was confused, not remembering how he had ended up there. Leo asked Muriel to rehire him, but she wasn't ready to trust him again. Leo promised to change and quit drinking. Muriel burst into tears, confessing to Leo that she missed him, but it pained her to think of herself as an inferior woman. In the end, Muriel gave Leo one last chance. Lucia warned him that if he ever hurt Muriel again, he would regret it. Leo started taking Muriel out for walks again. They spent a lot of time in nature, enjoying each other's company. For Muriel, these moments were the most precious. No one had ever done anything like this for her before. Meanwhile, he continued to train Lena, who was making clear progress. Muriel worried that the fighters in the ring might harm Leo. He reassured her that everything would be fine. Later, Leo told Lucia that he wouldn't be able to work for 2 days due to the training. He also told her about Lena, a young, promising boxer. Muriel still didn't know that Leo was training a woman. Lucia hesitated to tell her the truth. Muriel asked the nurse to buy a gift for Leo, a sun-colored shirt. Leo really liked the gift. Soon, the competition took place. Watching it, Leo reminisced about his own youth. In the end, Lena won, meaning the coach owed Leo $5,000. Of course, his friend honored the agreement, but Leo asked him to give that money to Lena because she deserved it. Borrowing a stylish car from his friend, Leo took Muriel for a drive. She hadn't been this far from home in a long time. It was these moments that reminded her that there was still goodness in life. Leo carried his beloved along the seashore. It seemed as though they were the only two people in the world. Leo and Muriel swam in the sea. It was a feeling of absolute freedom. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss more exciting new content.